Welcome to the Blue Jays monthly review of the month of May. The team went 29 and 31. They're currently in the third wildcard spot, half a game up on the next closest team, and they're 9 games behind in the division. I'm changing to a monthly review structure than a weekly review. I know originally I said I was going to do something like both, but I just think, especially if the amount of sports that are about to happen with the World Cup and whatnot, it'd be easier for me to follow the Blue Jays on a monthly basis more than a weekly basis. So yeah, we'll get started with our first official Blue Jays monthly review, and we'll go from there here for the month of May. So the Jays month of May looked like this. They won 15 and 14 this month, so slightly over 500, but was good enough to get them back into a playoff spot. My top moment of the month goes to Dalton Varsho's walk-off grand slam against the Rays on May 13th. Obviously, a huge moment that turned the tides in the Jays' momentum and got them back in the playoff contention. They went 2-1 at Minnesota, 0-3 at Tampa, 2-1 hosting the Angels, 1-2 hosting the Rays, where you did see the Varsho walk-off grand slam, which saw them get momentum to go 2-1 at Detroit, 2-2 at the Bronx, where they probably should have taken three, would have been all four, 2-1 versus Pittsburgh, 2-1 versus Miami, and then 2-2 at Baltimore. Again, should have won three in Baltimore. Unfortunate what happened on the final or third game of the series. Yeah, good month of May. They're in a playoff spot. We'll have to see if they can take this momentum, throw it into June, do even better, and cement themselves really in the playoff hunt. But next up, we'll look at the playoff chase to see where the Jays stand in the AL East and in the AL wildcard chase. So for the current playoff chase for the Blue Jays in the American League, as you can see, the Rays 36 and 20 do sit atop the American League East. The Yankees at 36 and 23 are a game and a half behind, so clawed their way back from last time I did a review. I think they're about 5 games behind the Rays then. So only 1.5 now. Blue Jays 9 games behind the Rays. They were 10.5 in my last weekly review. Slowly but surely making some ground up. Orioles are only 10 games behind, so the Orioles are really getting back into the thick of things. And then the Red Sox at 25 and 33, 12 games behind. It hasn't been a great year for Boston, and knowing how they operate, at least last year, they traded star players, so they got money for Liverpool. Who knows who's next? Is Garrett Crochet safe from Boston? Who knows? But obviously, joke aside, it's been a tough year in Boston. The AL wild card, the Yankees at 36 and 23 currently hold the top spot. They're 7.5 games ahead of everyone else. White Sox are 3.5 games up with a 32 and 27 record. So the White Sox actually good. Like, are they a good team now? We'll have to see if this holds up for the entire year, but their lineup has been absolutely fun to watch. The White Sox, definitely a dangerous team in the American League now. Blue Jays holding on to that third one at 29 and 31, half game up on everyone else. Behind them, the Athletics at 28 and 31 are half game behind. They were leading the AL West for a little bit, but fortunately that run is over. Rangers 28 and 31, half game out, and then the Orioles 1 game behind the Jays. They're at 28 and 32. So that's the current playoff chase. Up next, we're going over who's leading the Jays in stats on both the hitting and pitching side. Jays stat leaders on the hitting side, you can see for home runs, it is still Kazuma Okamoto, who's hit 12 home runs. So he hit 2 home runs in the past week. Andres Jimenez with 6 and Jesus Sanchez with 6 are trailers. Would like to see the guys behind Okamoto like start catching up a little bit, but Okamoto at 12 has been a really fun year for him. There's been some struggles, there's been some cold times, but when he's on, he is on. It has been a treat to watch. Hit leaders, Ernie Clement, 68, Vlad, 62, and Dalton Varsho, 53. Again, good year for Ernie. Been really hot recently and continues to show that he's a capable MLB player. I mean, just from how Ernie Clement's like grown as an MLB player is super impressive and super fun to watch. As for our OPS, Jesus Sanchez is now the team leader in OPS with a 785 OPS, followed by Yohendrick Pinango. So the two new additions in that outfield continue to impress. Jesus Sanchez definitely been more than we've expected, has been absolutely wonderful in that outfield. There's an incident yesterday where I guess him and a kid thought he was trying to play catch during a Blue Jays mound visit or pitching change or something like that. And the kid threw the ball at Jesus Sanchez and it injured him. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but weird incident yesterday. Sanchez has been awesome. Penongo's been great. Can't believe we got him for Nate Pearson. So I think I don't know where Nate Pearson is now. I think he's in Houston. Not sure on that, but might be there. Don't know how he's doing. And then you got Vladdy there with a 776 OPS. Good enough because he's the third best player on the team, but You would like him to increase that a bit. You'd like him to also start getting more extra base hits. As for the pitchers, Dylan Cease still leads the team in strikeouts with 92 while being on the injured list. Hopefully, he is back sooner rather than later. Kevin Gausman second place with 66. And then Jeff Hoffman in third with 45. He's a name that we'll have a discussion about in a bit. Jeff Hoffman, definitely a polarizing option there. As for ERA, Louis Varland, 0.29 ERA. So absolutely lights out this year has been Louis. More than you could have asked from Louis this year, you've gotten, and just a wonderful pitcher. So happy he's on our team. Don't know what the Twins are doing. Trey Savage, second there for 2.19. It has gone up a lot since his last video, but two not great starts, unfortunately for him, though he did get screwed over in the start against the Marlins because of some poor defense by Penongo. Trevor Rogers there. Nope. Nope. That's the Orioles pitcher. Tyler Rogers in third of 2.36. Good enough for Tyler Rogers. He's been a good pitcher. He's had some struggles recently, which once again we'll go over in a bit. As for the whip, Braden Fisher, under one whip now. Absolutely nails. Got him for Kevin Biggio. Has been great ever since. The couple trades in 2024, man, you gotta just tip your cap to what Ross Atkins did and who he, like, collected, including the Kevin Biggio for Braden Fisher trade. Money. It's been absolute money. Louis Varland there for 1.03, once again, phenomenal year, and then Kevin Gausman, who has been really good recently, continues to move up the leaderboard. So, yeah, that's it for our stat leaders. Now it's into who's hot and who's not. So who's hot and who's not for the month of May? Ernie Clement, 796 OPS, 30 hits, 4 home runs, driven in 13. A good month for Ernie. Couple options here. I believe Okamoto's had a good month. I mean, Sanchez and Penongo have been great. But I did decide to go for Ernie. He had the best stats. So Ernie Clement is your who's hot hitter for the month of May. Pitcher, Trey Savage, 31 and 2/3 innings, 2.56 ERA. Whip's a little high. 36 strikeouts is nice. Only contender here was really Cease, but Savage, I do feel like was the best option and definitely deserved of the who's hot for the starters. Relievers, Louis Varland. I mean, he didn't give up a run in May, so might as well. 16 strikeouts there. Whip out 1.07. Would maybe honestly like that a little bit lower, but it's fine for Louis. As long as he can prevent runs, he's doing his job wonderfully. For who's not, as you can see, I went with two relievers. The reason I did this is because I think all the starters have been fine in the month of May or been pretty good. So I did go with two relievers. For our batter, you have Lenyn Sosa, who went 9 for 52, sub 500 OPS, struck out 12 times, did hit one home run that we will tip our cap to, but hasn't been a good month for Lenyn Sosa. A couple other candidates here. Tyler Heineman's been terrible, but limited at bats compared to Sosa. Same with Davis Schneider, unfortunate, which I do really love Davis Schneider, especially he was so like a huge part for the Jays last year, including that playoff run. Just wish he can get back to his best. The only real like guaranteed starter who is contending for this was Andres Jimenez, who had a rough month, but he had a lot more at bats, not as like a few more hits, but did hit a couple more home runs and a huge. He's been brilliant defensively, so I did go with Lenny Sosa. And then my two relievers, you have Jeff Hoffman and Tyler Rogers. 13 innings pitched for Hoffman, a 6.23 ERA, nearly a 1.7 whip, and only 18 strikeouts. I like Hoffman. I think there is a good pitcher there, but he just does stuff when like I kind of want to start defending him. He has to blow up in Baltimore. So you can't really defend him. He was terrible. And obviously not on good terms with the fan base because he did blow the World Series, which was another unfortunate thing because he had been absolutely lights out in that World Series, in that playoffs. And then he throws one bad pitch to Miguel Rojas. And I don't want to go over it more. I do think there's a pitcher in Jeff Hoffman, and I don't think by any means should the team give up on him. But please, for the love of God, stop throwing him in the ninth inning. If you want to throw anyone in the ninth inning, it should be Tyler Rogers. You go Rogers or you go Hoffman, Varland for the top of the order wherever they are, whether it's the seventh, eighth, or ninth, and then Rogers in the ninth if it's not their like core of their order. But yeah, Hoffman can't really defend him. Tyler Rogers had a poor month as well, but I still do think he's on better terms with the franchise, has had a couple good results recently, so don't worry. Tyler Rogers, I think he's fine. Hoffman, you just can't throw him in the ninth. It has to be the seventh or eighth. and it can't be the heart of their order coming up. It has to be Varlam for that heart of the order. Just a rough week for Jeff Hoffman, and yeah, I mean, rough week for all these guys. So as you can see, new who's hot, who's not leaderboard. I think for once the June review's done, I'm gonna add who I'd give it for in April. But for now, we keep it with this. Ernie Clement, Trey Savage, Louis Varlam. They're who's hot recipients there. I don't know if I said that right. Might have completely messed that word up. Just what came out of my mouth. Who's not? Lenny Sosa, Jeff Hoffman, and Tyler Rogers. So yeah, that's it for who's hot, who's not. We'll go over the upcoming June schedule for the Jays and then wrap up this video. So this is the Jays schedule and my prediction for the month of the June. I have them going 16 and 12 with the biggest series in the month being the return of Bo Bichette to Toronto to end the month of June. And well, into July. The final game is on Canada Day, but I just said we'll throw in the full 3-game series. So, matchups, you're at Atlanta for 3 starting tomorrow. Then you host Baltimore for 3, so get some games in Toronto. Versus Philly for 3 and versus the Yankees for 3. So that's a nice homestand. Lots of good matchups there. Then you go on the road to Boston and Chicago. Two teams who have had weird seasons. Boston haven't been good. Chicago started off elite, then went on a huge losing streak. Recently have been better. Then you host the two Texas teams, Houston, Texas. Houston hasn't been good because of their pitching, which is crazy to say because they just threw a no-hitter. But man, Yordan Alvarez is going to be scary to watch. He is so good. I know the fit's not there. Where would we throw everyone? But if this team could get Yordan Alvarez, he's like my dream acquisition. It's never going to happen. Same with probably Scooble. More likely, but never going to happen. One of those two at the deadline would really make this team a World Series contender. I would rather Alvarez, honestly speaking, even with the pitching inconsistencies with injuries and whatnot. The add a bat of the caliber of Jordan Alvarez would take this team over the top. You have Springer leading off, Alvarez, and then Vlad. You can't pitch around Vlad because then you're pitching to Alvarez. Can't pitch around Alvarez because then you're pitching to Vlad. It makes the lineup more scary, but that's me rambling on. I might make a who I want at the deadline video. Texas for 4. Again, they're in the playoff hunt. We'll have to see. And then the Mets for 3. As for, again, 16 and 12 prediction, my bold prediction for this month, I think we sweep that series against Texas. I think we take all 4 games. I think the last couple of years, we seem to have a 4-game series where we just sweep. Not so sure on 2024 where we suck, but like last year, we swept the 4-game series with the Yankees. I think that series against Texas is going to be our momentum buster that gets us back to the 2025 team, gets us back on the trajectory trying to get that World Series title. But for this monthly review, I've been Owen from Owen Talk Sports. Thank you for watching. What are your thoughts on the Blue Jays? Do you think this team's going to do good this month? Do you think the team's going to crap itself and revert to the 2024 version? Who knows? It should be a fun one. Leave your thoughts below, and we'll see you at the end of June for the June monthly review.